Hello people, let's play Dominion 6. Libluini here with Dominions. Oh, wow, I already said that, right? Okay, as you can see we have a lot of stuff that happens this turn. First, the prophet of Tianxi takes a new throne. That's depressing. So we twice spawned our most important mage and made 12 new undead abominations. And oh, that's a novum, we finally find a site. Herr Harpser found a site in Faircliff, that's here, whoop. And of course it's Singing Stones, Earth Camps. Wow, okay, we need death and air and earth. Sometimes this game is kind of funny. The Singing Stones, they are, oh, one glamour, one earth, but oh, I get it. It's an air site that doesn't give air gems. Man, sometimes this game is kind of funny. It's a great joke, I have to say. But no one else can find anything. Let's see. Did site search here? Yeah, that's a spoiler. We took Osense. Well, at least our labs can be searched, I guess, since this guy can't fly all the way over there. That's not much of a risk. And then, of course, our battle in Osense. We lost one of our last surviving militiamen. The Spirehorn dude here. Still kind of find it kind of funky that maybe wait. Okay, let's look at this real fast here. Yeah, our insane fanatics. And whoop. Yeah, okay. That was over blindingly fast. While I'm going here, I had to look something up. Ah, yes, I got this right. Sometimes the raptor is born with black wings, because normally the raptors have these shiny brown wings, while the Spirehorn people actually have black wings. It's one of those funky things. Okay, maybe gray wings if I'm reading those shades correctly. Well, it's close. And of course, Aryans have white wings, so that's the three clans. Oh, sometimes I have to remind myself. And we witnessed a battle between man and no, sorry. This green is Pythium. So Pythium and Vettiheim, and Pythium won. I guess Pythium noticed Ulm was steamrolling them and is now vulturing. We see this block of icy winter wolves, yeah. And then we see Comitatensis, some kind of fake Roman soldier, fantasy Roman. Fairly good units, high defense skill, good protection, magic resistance is okay, moral is good. They have a tower shield, which means arrows and crossbow bolts aren't as effective as they can be. If you want to, you can set them to fire, which means they will blast their two spears into the enemy before attempting to go melee. And on the other side we have these sad sack people. Only one of the leaders is a Vetti, this Jarl here. Vettis are some kind of Nordic creatures. They're a little bit like goblins, but I think they can also be furry. Actually fairly complicated creatures from Norse mythology. Vettiheim. Yeah, okay. I guess Vettiheim is soon over. Yeah, although spears can be painful. And then the winter wolves strike and the battle is over. We also have those Maenads from Pythium. That's more like a Greek thing. Maenads are human females seduced by the wild lure of Pan's flute. Ah, so I'm guessing he has Pans somewhere. Unusual, but maybe he used astral magic to mind control a Pan or something. Or just the Maenads, that's also possible. Yeah, classy Dominion 6. Hi, one of the winter wolves died, and of course the Maenads, just being naked women, also died like flies. Kind of a waste if you ask me, but I guess if he has tons of them, there is no reason to not use them. This being a strategy game of war after all. And that was the Bandit Hills, so that's the end of Ulm's expansion northward, I'm supposing. Then we saw another battle between Bogarus and Patala. Patala attacked Bogarus again, and oh wait, I remember, I read about this yesterday on our Discord, but then I was too tired and let myself sleep, so it's still the same turn. So Patala attacked Bogarus, trying to gain control of the castle. While a lot of the defenders of the castle died, well, that's irrelevant because they will be back next battle anyway. He also killed 8 of the mages, but holy shit did those mages kill. There was not much inside his castle actually, but he did manage to summon so many undead that the enemy army finally broke and ran away. That's kind of impressive. The death toll was, of course, a lot more even than you'd expect, thanks to the auto defenders of the castle. So here, the big army is arrayed in front. Both sides hit each other with everything they have, like crossbow bolts and arrows. Bogarus has these neat little shortbow archers with a little bit more range than you'd expect from a shortbow, but it's also still just arrows. So no armor piercing, and with the other stats, you should keep them away from the battle line because they'll be dead, super dead, if anything gets close to them. So I also have snow move because Bogarus is another cold nation, and this allows them to better move through icy frozen wastelands. And then we have the normal units. They are just funky looking dudes with sword and shield. And average stats. The defense is a bit higher than expected. Nice protection there. And good moral, because they are city guards. But they're also one of the more expensive units you can get in Bogarus. They even have the castle defense bonus. All other units you can get are far worse. The Callisti are just cheap fanatics. Their only purposes are: one, since they are stealthy and cause unrest, to annoy and undermine your neighbors, and the second one is to load them up with some kind of explosive blast and then send them into the enemy in large numbers to blow them up. Oh, snake death. There's no storm and elementals. Yeah, those are air and astral mages, so I guess the player of Patala was a bit mistaken, because what we're going to see is air elementals, not undead. Then we have those Naga warriors. They are fairly good actually. They have a good chance of hitting someone, and they have a lot of attacks with their venomous fangs, their actual weapon. They can hypnotize someone, which stuns the enemy. They have poison spit. They are awful people to fight. The only drawbacks are they don't have a head, so the vulnerability against some rare head hits is there. But then again, they have spirit side, so if you have elves, you wanna avoid these fuckers because they can just negate all your magic bullshit. They're also ethereal, but that might be their bless actually. Now, magic beings, so you can just put them in any squad you want. You need your own snake people leaders. Poison resistance is nice. And they're amphibians, so this means they can go underwater without penalties. Nice to know. But they're also cold-blooded. That means if you put them into a swamp, the swamp won't disease them, which is super. Ray, you want this. But also if it gets cold, they start getting penalties. I'm not even sure I'm looking at the real stats here because it's fairly cold. Basic 11, experience bonus 12. Good to know. So they have no penalties right now. Now it's Dobby. Yeah, the archers have already broken and abandoned the walls. Looks like the Snagas are slowly hacking their way through, despite everything. And tons of Banda archers with their longbow and their higher damage. And those tiny ape men with their short bows are wrecking shit. And of course there is this weird squadron of independent or maybe mercenary crossbowmen shooting the shit inside here. Then we have soulless warriors. Oh, I see. Is there someone else here? Because did he just... Yeah, communion slave. So instead of summoning Ashut, we have overlooked another group of mages here. Is Soulless Warrior a type of undead you can summon with air and astral? Or do I am overlooking an... Huh. Oh, this guy, of course. Alexei the Patriarch. He actually has Dev 1, but he isn't part of any communion. So, is he part of some kind of priest communion? But the game doesn't tell me. Very interesting. Stellar Decree. Huh. Ah, air elementals are showing up. Of course, in this mess of snakes and people hitting each other, I have troubles. Oh, there is the air elemental. Up here. No, not you. This guy. Game, please. This game. Holy fucking shit. Okay, apparently the game doesn't want me to click on this air elemental. I have to wait until I'll stop more here. Oh, this guy is summoning up. Raise that and... finally I have them identified. I forgot the occultists. Occultists are strong in death, astral and blood, and they are part of the communion as masters, so they are the source of all those skeletons. And soulless, because Horde of Skeletons is a really good enchantment spell that creates large groups of undead and then sends them on their way. Soulless are interesting, they're just undead people, uncontrolled of course, because they don't give a shit anymore, they're dead. They're also counted as inanimate. And here is one of the long deads. Those skeletons will rise up if you use Horde of Skeletons. They don't have a lot of hit points, but they have fairly good attack skills for being just a skeleton. Magic resistance and protection are of course awful, but as undead they will never run away. They have all the resistances you expect from undead. For example, don't use ice magic against undead, that will just be painful. They also never heal, but with 5 hit points you don't need to care. And it's not like you get to keep the skeletons you summon mid-battle. They also have spirit sight since they're just undead creatures from the afterlife and shit. Pierce resistance because they are walking skeletons. Trying to stab it with a spear is kind of a bad idea. And they are poor amphibians. Underwater they will get stat penalties. But if you have enough of them you can still drown the enemy. So that's an interesting setup. So you put 2 of those as masters, and instead of spamming air elementals, he used his Astra Pelagists as batteries. Well, I guess it works. The living units all have been replaced with undead by now. And this time, despite the Naga mages trying to banish them back to the Netherworld, the skeletons actually start making headway now that the battle is continuing, because in the cold the Nagas will get sleepier and sleepier. I don't have that much, but encumbrance is 13. I can tell you that that's not true. Normally a Naga would just need 10 swings of a sword to fall asleep. It's just the effect of the cold. We go closer to the battlefield, to the actually fighting Nagas. Yeah, this Naga has already fallen asleep, for example. This is going badly. One of the extreme dangers of undead isn't actually that they can hit and kill you with hundreds and hundreds of numbers. No, it's that they won't ever get tired, but your dudes will. So even if your units are superior, if you can just shit out enough undead, eventually your troops will fall asleep and that's it. Everyone dies. Mind you, some thunder striking is being done. So I guess not all Astra Pelagists are in the slave communion. Thunder strike is nasty, of course. It will shock everyone around the square it hits, and whatever is in the square will get atomized. Yeah, that's not going bad for going good for the invaders. Of course, as you can see, this strategy mostly works out because everyone is inside this little zone here with the gate clogged up with undead. And none of the units on Patala's side can fly, so they are stuck. Ethereal units can just phase through the walls, and flying units would have massacred the mages by now. But since Patala has snakes and limited ammunition on their bowman... sorry, my allergies. So, because now there is no ammunition left, well, 12, but I'm guessing since they've been firing the entire time, it's now down to 0. Yep, they have stopped firing. There's still more undead arriving. The Nagas are actually killing a lot of them, but still too slow. Still piling up more. And here you see the end of the scripting, I guess. Despite these guys being powered up, and well, powered up in a way, I'm guessing because some of those Astra Pelagists are also masters. Yeah, this one. So okay, and the thing you have to know about this kind of communion is, oh yeah, they're all taking damage now, because yes, they have been abused pretty damn heavily. The fatigue has reached a point where it's slipping over into real damage, and some of them are already near dead because of this. So I'm guessing, yeah, they have already gone down in numbers while we are looking at ours. So the thing is, your powers go up as a communion master in powers of 2. So if you have 2 slaves in your communion, you get +1 to your magic buffs. You have 4, you get +2. You have 8, you get +3. You have 16, and you get +4, and so on. That's roughly it. So while you can power up real fast with communion slaves, sooner or later you reach the point of only marginal advances. Fuck, what was the expression of English? Fuck it. So what you are seeing here now is we have almost as many masters as there are slaves, but there are still more than enough for a +1 for each of the masters. Because yeah, this is also an important thing. If you have 2 slaves and 2 masters, then it counts only as 1 slave for each master, so no power up for you. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is not at all. He is... Wait, no. I just overlooked it, but he is still in. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1 master. 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 We have now 5 masters and 5 slaves, and okay, I guess I was wrong. It does count as still at least +1, which is nice to know. But of course, as you've seen, all the fatigue of the spells are landing on the communion slaves. That's another thing. So while those assholes can still cast like little shitters, each time they do, the poor bastards behind them are eating now damage. So this isn't as overwhelming as it might look, because if the Nagas weren't cold-blooded, they could maybe have held out for long enough for the battery behind them to just explode. And then then 2 death mages wouldn't be enough to keep this up. Of course, undead are also immune against running away, at least most of them, and these ones especially. So now we have units breaking off and running away. This of course is something for Dominion 6. In older games, only an entire squad could break at once, so a single unit failing its moral role was kind of irrelevant. Dominion 6 they have changed it so individual units can run away, so you get things like this, like a single unit from the squad running away, which is kind of an interesting system, because most of the time it looks the same, because a lot of units will break at the same time. But sometimes we get things like this, where some of the units are still in the fight and others decide to fuck off. Of course, in this case all the Nagas have been broken, I guess. Oh no, this one is still fighting. See? And this one isn't even asleep, just suffering from some penalties. Thanks to fatigue. Higher fatigue gets you some penalties. It's kind of interesting. This is a brave Naga. Of course, the Naga is facing the wall, so it's probably not seeing the carnage. And more units break. I'm guessing we're reaching the threshold of the end of the battle, and that's it. Most of the units have broken and the survivors got butchered. And now there's only this long stream of undead running slowly after the fleeing army. The one good thing of this kind of battle is, of course, none of the mages on both sides were in any danger. Burgos only lost mages because of his battery setup. Here, the Nagarators used their magic power to kill a really big number of mostly undead, but it didn't matter because the undead killed also a lot. As you can see, the Nagas butchered nearly 200 more. But eventually they fell asleep and then the killing was on overshoe. And as the pelagists did, yeah, those deaths are mostly due to thunder strikes because the occultist did actually most of the killing. But if you summon a unit and the unit does the killing, this doesn't count for your kill count. And then 8 of them died, so now the Communion is dead and Bogaros is mostly spent. And that's it. Now Patala has to move up another army and then we get to see this again, but then Bogaros will be host. And since a fairly big amount of the units have survived just here, and since the mages and leaders are all alive, I guess it's just one turn and then they'll be back to Bogaros. Here's only one enemy unit, of course, still sieging. I'm guessing he left one commander back to just keep the siege up in case something goes wrong, and that's actually a neat strategy because it takes then the enemy an extra turn to freeze their cap even if things go really badly for you. So we can expect Patala to move in again next turn and then take Bogaros the turn after that. And as Bogaros is the only province... Oh wait, there is still another castle in the south. And Pythium is sitting on it. So Pythium is vulturing left and right here. Which means Patala isn't as big as I feared it would be. But let's take a look further to the east. Well, this explains why Patala wanted to be friends. I'm not sure if this jokingly exchange on Discord counts as a lasting peace, but hey, you know what, it's even funnier? If we send a diplomatic missive to the player of... We can't send them, we don't have contact because we aren't touching borders. That's the funny limitation of the game. I guess our scouts can't talk to them or something. So, but we have contact to Patala, Reign of the Nagas. Intelligent apes ruled by snakes. Now that's funny. Propose a non-aggression pact. So let's answer the joke offer with another joke offer, and if it fails, I at least know that this is not someone who wants to attack another cold nation with the capability of swamping his pure little snakies with undead. So we'll be at peace anyway, but it would be funny if we can get some more use out of the in-game napping system, the non-aggression pacting. So we have recruited a leader here, so we can now go back to Harab serving it up. So yes, you my friend, and you my friend, and okay, I can easily amass the cheap units, so you are now the guards. That's the shortcut. So now we can start giving this guy his troops. I will probably change this to attack later. Faircliff is still upgrading. And I guess I have... Oh, yeah, no, I don't have money left over. Ah, do we still have some messages? Yes. Unexpected event in Troll. Dominions -2, but I guess since we don't have Dominion there, it's still for Andromania. Santra. The sectarian movement. That's... Fuck, hell. Of course, it's enemy influence here. Here we have, of course, no idea if this is just an assault from outside or an assault from inside. Let's see, scouting. Let's go into the southwest for now. Let's see, let's put some troops around. The more important army will of course stay here, and our new army of undead. Now we have 30 units. This looks a little bit more like something now. And this guy, Stipe, We'll now have to move. Yeah, okay. Stipe, you aren't having any secrets. You can move over here and patrol the motherfucker out. I don't care if it's an event or a visitor from somewhere else. Let's destroy that fucker. Next up, worldwide event. Throne of Summer is... Oh no! Worldwide heat +1? No! Death magic. The people's death match is taking place. May the people champion win an arena battle. Then we had arena battles here and Master Pelagist against the Lava Bound Commander and winning. Not exactly the big monsters here, but sometimes you get surprised. And the Master Pelagist is a hero. Increased physical strength. And of course he got a slave collar, so now he is only a soldier, nothing else. At least he got a champion's trident. I'm guessing he was a winner in an earlier. Or he just got the item. Item isn't bound to any commander specifically. And then we have this guy, a dying, feeble-minded lava commander. Well, they don't have magic anyway, but the feeble-minded is of course from the slave collar. Heat, free and fire resistance. But their attack skill is kind of awful for a unit like this. I'm guessing so if you're getting too close to them, they will just slowly heat you to death. And then he immediately got stunned by a single good hit. Yeah, that's Dominions for you sometimes. The next arena battle is Astrapelagist against Hochmeister, and he is still winning? Oh wow, a dying nation's final strike. The champion's trident means that, oh, that explains a lot. So he has luck, so that means he will survive the first deadly hit, and he has quickness, so he can strike faster. But still, that's lucky, because I suppose damage 30. Oh, so this was actually a very good protection wall on the Lava Commander's side. So yeah, if the hit hits the Hochmeister instead of his horse, then yeah, of course he'll immediately die. Hochmeister is a sacred unit, but without an item to give him a bless. And yeah, as I thought it would happen, he got stabbed in his dumb face by the trident. And now his horse is running off alone. And he's trying to kill the horse. Dude, that's a bit cold. Second victory for Bogarus here. And apparently no one had sensed anything. So now the sacrifice the Esther Pelagist actually wins. So Bogarus, the nation that will disappear in 2 turns, has now gotten what was it? Results. A Champion's Gladius, and a bunch of gold and fire gems. Oh yeah. Bogarus, I hope you can still use it next turn. Then we have Centra, of course, but we are already moving in. Then our scout was caught by Agatha. Oh, that's too sad. Anything new here? Well, we have this Necromancer. Catonian Necromancers are kind of neat. They're also hell over old, so if you want to keep them, you have to use twice bond on them or they'll be dead super fast. Course Stitcher. Yeah, that's a new thing, I think. I've forgotten if it was introduced in Dominions 5 or only no, but it's like a healing ability for constructs. They can even remove afflictions from undead if they are the type of undead who can have afflictions. Ghosts and other units who don't get affliction, of course, are unaffected. Up to 1 affliction per month. And of course, value of 5 then means, I guess, the number of hit points each undead unit gets back. This of course would, for example, work on our giant shambling electro corpses, But it, for example, wouldn't work on inanimate object like a statue. Those need another ability to get healed. But I guess if you have an undead nation with tons and tons of strange undead constructs, this is a good ability. As you've seen, a lot of the skeletons, for example, have the unhealing tag, and they will just be treated like constructs. So if you have lots of dinged skeletons, having this cause bender just healing each single unit in that province all at once, that's a really strong ability. I am impressed. Then we finished a fortress in Jelagora. Next, we are in Trail Canyon and moderately damaged, so we are making progress. And Ozenza is ours now. Let's get some province defense here because the income is fairly high and we want to keep it. Now, normally I would be concerned about Raga still marching in, but something happened. We now go to Raga. Oh, that's kind of funny, he's still playing. I swear the bot on Discord told me that he had already given up. Maybe it's only showing up next turn? I'll have to take a look, because if he's really going away, that's it for us. For him, I mean. For us, would be good. So Andramania is still in it. Priena is doing something somewhere else. But we have to now... where is this? No, all those red fuckers. Here, Femini. We are now at peace with them for a prize. They have, of course, fear and invulnerability. Patala. Okay, now we know their bless. Their bless is ethereal. So, yeah. So, Nagas are naturally ghosts. They just got this from his bless. And magic leadership, which is actually not too bad, because all his Naga soldiers are magic beings. And this means all his leaders can now carry around more of his sacreds. So, of course, there was some thing happening on Discord too. We made a deal with the player of Femini and the Sage Queens. And fuck, I'm stupid. Fucking stupid, eh? Ugh. Alchemy. Drop by an alchemy lab. We need 30 glamour gems. Since no one of us can use them, I've promised Femini to send him, or them, 30 of his glamour gems, of ours, as a prize for peaceful relations. And I always love this here, and if they say yes, more the luck for us. And really, the only thing that happens if we get refused is that our investigator, our diplomat, our ambassador is getting decapitated, which, okay, it's sad, yeah, and makes the AI really angry if it happens to them. But we can't just laugh about it, because we're assholes and humans. So now Femini got the more important thing, they got the gems, because now we have the actual, for real, we are allowed to take Old Man Mountains, is what I wanted to say. Free from enemy units. Do we have a small army already up here? And we of course have some units for our Stealth Lord here. There's of course no reason to wait here. Just stab the defenders, please. And he is building the fortress, so I can't really move him. Ah, fuck. Then we have this here. But of course this is also possible. Well, Kalos. No. Do we have some other units here? Well, we have this guy here. He could be sent in. But I don't really want to risk anything. So, Kalos, you can take Old Man Mountains. And our reserve force, with some elephants, can in the same turn join the siege. With this, our deal is concluded. This province will be added to our ranks, all peaceful-like, and we've paid for it already. And Raga, well, Raga is kind of interesting. They are under siege now by Agatha. If they really give up, you have to take note, because with Femini, Agatha, and Patala, Andramania being around, there's a lot of provinces that would potentially change sides. Of course, Pyrene has shown up, vulturing, so it might be that Raga and Andramania are done for good. It's still complicated politics over there. On the other side, things are kind of calm. Patala is beating down Bogarus, Agatha is busy with Raga, and if we could look up, Ulm is still busy with Vettiheim. And she has just barely touched our borders, so risk of war is not as big as you might think. Let's try to see if we can look deeper into that mess over there. Well, it looks more and more like we will probably end up fighting Ulm, since they're right there, and also a blood nation I want to take out. We can still add course constructs. This is kind of funky. We're still at +2 air games only for an air nation. So yeah, if you try to play Caelum like a real air nation, you're in for a lot of trouble. So I'm guessing we will continue for about 10 turns or something, and when we have dropped off something like 5 air games, I'll stop for the moment and let my games recover if we haven't managed to get up to a neutral at least. And 10 turns adds 120 more, then we have 150, it should work out. Of course, I want to make more, but we need more air games first. And also we need more Astral. And you have been twice born, now you don't have to fear the Reaper anymore. He is old age 7150, and of course in winter this will get him a higher chance of getting afflictions. And we got a new mage that is level 3. That's awesome, ready, because that's as rare as getting a level 3 in death. So of course this means we have to preserve him now, so he isn't lost forever if he dies. Twice spawn. So now we have 2 good mages in our lineup, and I'm keeping to recruit Harab Elders. Next turn we'll have some extra money left over, and then we can build up. Well, what do we need right now? We have fortresses going up, we soon have a castle. Well, next turn I'll build finally a temple here. Right now I have been preaching our dominion out here. Since we are lucky, this is actually fairly good for us, because it means better events. And for Patala, because there is this funny thing where neutral luck scales don't do anything if they're on the other side of the border. But negative and positive can actually spawn the resulting events. So if someone spreads misfortune into your dominion, that's bad. But if someone spreads luck scales into your dominion, that's good. Because then you get a higher chance of good events. And holy shit. Heat 5. Heat 2. That must be his dominion. Of course, the closer you get to Bogarus, the colder it gets. And yeah, it is summer, but it is also a sign that, yeah, of course, and of course there was this event that negated most of our coldness. Everywhere where is still cold 1 is good for us, because we are still building stuff out of ice, I think. In the early and middle ages, Caelum builds ice castles, which are pretty and effective, but they're also made from ice and will melt. But I guess we changed, because those are just stone fortresses. So otherwise a heat of 4 would melt that castle down real fast. But we are lucky, we are in the late age where Caelum plays more like a normal nation. And our fortifications are just made from stone like anyone else's. Otherwise, being close to Patala's Heat 4 would fuck us over seriously. So, of course, what this means is having Stormguards here. Well, I don't want to fight Patala, so it's kind of irrelevant. It's another reason to not fight them, because my Stormguards would be weak as kittens, with most of the protection reduced. In our Iras, of course, well, Frost protection is still good, because Patala has so many water mages. Except, of course, their foreign recruits are all astral mages, so it's complicated. Our best protection are Harp Seraphs with Death 2, which, funnily enough, we don't have that many. We have more of the Air 2 mages, which we can then link up with our Air 3 mage, because he can now at least overcast Storm, which needs Air 4. And then Anion with level 2 and Air can power themselves up. Need to know. Yeah, and all our hero seraphs are here mostly a wild mix of paths. We have a second death mage here, and of course our main commander death mage. But yeah, we might need to recruit more shit. All those tiny ones here can still, of course, summon tiny amounts of death, but they're mostly for summoning. And what the fuck is going on here, right? But mostly they are for summoning and forging, and research, of course. And that's the final thing I have to look up, research. Yeah, we are slowly getting there. Research speed is going up and up and up, and we are unlocking enchantment 5 next turn. Then we are rushing through Thaumaturgy, mostly to get our boss to teleport. Then we're finishing up some other low shit, and then we're going back around to Conjuration to unlock our weird astral summons. Some, like Summon Yasatas, are more like an endgame goal, because while Yasatas are really good units and sacreds, which means they get all the bonuses from our stupid overpowered Blast 2, the mages are a lot harder to get, and some of those we need as leaders for the Yasatas. And currently we are at 2 Astral Pearls only. Well, currently we are in a low magic run, I suppose. But that's it. We did some diplomacy. We continued with our expansion, purely on accident of other people having bad luck, I suppose. This province is completely cut off, for example, and without a connection to a fort. None of this income is actually ending up in the pockets of Femini, so it's useless for them now. And they would have at first need to expand massively, take over, and then attack us. That's a lot of work if Raga actually is giving up soon, and Andromania is still hanging around. Lots of shit for him to do, or them, I don't want to presume. And that's it for this turn, I guess. I have done everything I can do, and Limbluini cuts out.